What if the reason you're not earning more is not because you need to do more, but because you need to do less? So often we are busy, we are chasing our tail, we're doing all the things, and we feel like we need a tick list. And we need to tick off the tick list. And we are chasing the next goal, the next thing. I remember when I wrote my book, my best-selling book, Make Money While You Sleep. And obviously that was about passive income. But I was so busy chasing that goal of writing the book, doing the thing. And literally, as soon as I'd written it, I ticked it off the list and then it was on to the next thing. And I was so busy just chasing that next goal, doing that next thing, being busy doing passive income, that actually it was only when I stopped and recalibrated and I said, hang on a minute, I've replaced one form of busyness with another. And in this video, I'm going to talk through how you can change the way you think and you can slow down, earn more, and live more. There's a real difference between magnetic energy and busy energy. So magnetic energy is when we attract things into our life, the good things, the great things of our life. And we've had those moments in our life where life feels easy and we just simply attract things. It may be that we are manifesting them, but we visualize, we create, and they come into our life. I remember when I was living in China and I found my perfect house in London just by Hampstead Heath. And I had been visualizing that house. I visualized the beautiful light, the big windows, the rugs on the floor. And then suddenly there was my house. Had to overcome some hurdles to get there, but there was my house. And the thing is that we can magnetically attract things into our life when we visualize it and we think about it. And I'm going to talk more about that. But we can also operate on a different cycle. So that's kind of, I always like to think of it as the being at the airport, and there are the people who are on the kind of fast moving escalator, moving walkway, and the people who are walking along the side. And when you are magnetically attracting good, positive energy into your life, it's like you're on the supercharged walkway and you're just flowing and going with it. And it's so easy. And life is simple. And, you know, those walkways, they can be in real life. They don't have to just be at the airport. I always think of in Hong Kong, to get up to the high levels, they have the same walkways, you know, and you're just flowing up, you go up to the top of the peaks. And now in the same way, you can be on that super fast highway, or you can choose to be on the busy path where you're busy doing, and you're very worthy, and it's, you know, it's very admirable, and you feel like, oh, I need to work harder. I remember somebody saying to me, oh, I'll never use AI because it has to be mine. And while AI can't replace your voice, there are definitely shortcuts with AI. And so in the same way, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be busy. You can use tools and automation and AI to help you more effectively to grow your business without just being on the busy cycle. And this is a moment for you to say, which one do you want? Do you want the easy flowing walkway? Or do you want to be busy completing every task just because there's a satisfaction in being busy? And sometimes we feel the satisfaction of the busyness and ticking off the to-do list rather than actually the completion of it and the result and the outcome. Because we get a dopamine hit from ticking off our to-do list. But is it actually bringing us closer to our goals? Or is it just the dopamine hit of the to-do list rather than actually what is the bigger picture, that magnetic energy that can just radiate us closer. And sometimes that's hard to do that because we feel like if we're not doing, then a part of our ego feels like we should be doing that. And the good girl in me definitely feels like I need to be busy. My mother was a person who was always busy. She was busy tidying the house or busy doing her jobs, and she was constantly busy. And so I have had to work really hard to get out of the busyness cycle because I feel like that's what I should be doing. Rather than saying, okay, how can I work smarter? How can I step into that flow? And so when you start visualizing what you want, and I have a vision board workshop, which I really am so passionate about because it's a really great way for you to have that big picture vision of what you want. And I get it, that sometimes it's really hard when life sucks. It's really hard to kind of visualize those goals. I do get it. I do understand that there are peaks and troughs. And I've certainly had moments, I've had quite a year. And so it's hard for me to sometimes get excited about my goals. But when I just literally allow myself, and I do a couple of things, I will be visualizing that image of what I want, listening to just a short meditation. I have this lovely meditation I'm going to share, my abundance meditation, something like that, where it can help you. Or I really love Reiki Rachel, I'll share below as well. And both of those, they're lovely meditations where when you start thinking about what you really want and you are visualizing it and imagining it on a daily basis, it will bring you so much closer to your goals. Because there's proof that, athletes who visualize what they want, they imagine that goal, they imagine how they're going to get the ball over the net, whatever it may be. And at that point, because they visualized and played it out in their mind, they know what they're going to do. They visualized winning, lifting that trophy. And so for you, you can be visualizing, what is it that you really want? What is that goal that you are dreaming of and going for? And seeing it and believing that it's coming. And it's not just this sort of ethereal thing. See it as, whether it's the smell of it, what does it taste like? What does it feel like? And if you can lock in all of your senses, it makes it so much easier. I was just listening to Dr. Tara Schwartz with her new book, Signs, and she's talking about, all of our senses. And she was saying we've got 36 senses. And so when we tap into like the sights and the smells, as well as just that, the visualizing part of it. And so if you can imagine that smell and lock in smells. So for me, I adore lemongrass. And so I am smelling lemongrass. I have lemongrass around my house that I burn, and I'll be locking that smell in when I'm imagining this is how my life is going to look. This is the smell. This is where I'm going to be. And so no matter where you are, no matter how tough your life is right now, and believe me, my life is, I've got lots going on in my personal life. If you can visualize and stay with that, it makes it so much simpler. And one of the things for me this year, as I sort of reflect on the year, one of the things has been just allowing a pause. And I've had some quite significant health issues, which has forced me, I've not been able to drive, and it's forced me to press pause in a way that I would never have imagined that I was pressing pause. And so my world has kind of shrunk from a kind of physical perspective. I can't drive, I live in a small village, and so I'm not going everywhere, I'm not rushing around, I'm not being busy. And so suddenly I've been forced, the universe has forced me to stay put, to recalibrate and create space. And when you allow space into your life, sometimes it means that you can really look at, is this what I really want? And I remember when I first set up my business, I was on maternity leave and I was busy. I was busy, like having a lovely time with my son, but we were going to baby yoga and we were going to all the baby classes, and I was, meeting friends for lunch, and I was busy on maternity leave, but busy in a kind of doing all of those things. And suddenly my son and then I got hand, foot and mouth disease, which is basically you have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. And so it meant, because he got it and then I got it, that we were in quarantine for a month. And I had never, on my whole mat leave, I'd never stayed home. I'd always been busy doing things. And so suddenly I was like, oh my goodness, I'm at home. What am I going to do? How am I going to, just entertain my son and, all of that. I like to be out and walking and doing things. And it was only by sitting, recalibrating, having space to think, I realized I don't want to go back to work. I'm going to set up my own business. And I was dreading going back to work, thinking, how am I going to manage it all? But I was kind of so busy that I wasn't thinking about it. And by allowing myself that pause, I was able to then go, hang on a minute, I'm going to set up my business. And it's so often that we're so busy in the doing that we don't allow ourselves that time to press pause and really figure out what we want. I please beg of you, give yourself a moment to journal, to just meditate, lie in the bath, and give yourself that space, that time to think what you want. I'm a single mum and I rarely have a day to myself. It's really infrequent. And today I have a day to myself and I'm filming YouTube videos, but I've just allowed myself that time, that white space to think and think about what I really want to do. And when you allow yourself that space, things open up for you. But it's allowing yourself that space and that clarity so that you can come up with those amazing ideas. And when you're in flow and you're in that space of your alpha energy and you're more creative, that's when you're going to have your best ideas. That's when you're going to really have these wonderful pops of ideas that can lead to massive opportunities rather than just being in busy mode. So if you're feeling anxious and worried right now, or you're feeling like, how am I going to do everything, or just stressed out with life, I really say to you, just allow yourself that space. Allow that space to breathe. The simple breath of in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. Doing that, several rounds of that, can really help you to reset and just calmer, more grounded, and things will feel better. I find that doing some breath work, going for a run, being in nature, there is so much evidence to say that being in nature is really, really helpful to our cognition, to our mental health and well-being. And by being in nature, that's when the best ideas come. And so, for you to be a successful entrepreneur, for you to be someone who can, create the life that you want to live, it's not about being busier. It's not about being able to use Canva properly or whatever it may be. Those tools are helpful. But the best thing you can do is have that clarity about what you really want and be able to connect to your audience because you've done just simple thinking. You've recentered, you've got the best ideas, and then you can share those ideas in a really simple way that connects with people and they want to learn from you and buy from you. So check out my abundance meditation that might just help you to feel more centered. And if you like this video, I would love you to subscribe. Please click below to subscribe and let me know what helps you to give that mental space and clarity. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye bye.